Welcome to this special spring football edition of the Green Wave Report. I'm Doug Joubert. A cloudless morning greeted Tulane in its final week of spring football practice Tuesday. Temperatures, when everything got underway, around 70 degrees. No breeze this time. A little bit of a humid side of things, though. By the end of practice, temperatures were nearing the 80-degree mark. Over a dozen possible high school recruits and their families roamed the shady east side of the stadium, watching the Green Wave practice. Also in attendance in his practice jersey, last year's breakout freshman running back Jamari LaCour. Now, McCord did not take any snaps, but was in Yulman Stadium. One-on-one drills, we got to see some impressive moves by LSU transfer wideout Destin Hill. During one portion of the drill, players were trying to find the end on a run while two defenders were trying to get to the ball carrier. Only one person was blocking in front during this particular drill. Hill started on the end and then cut back, a seamless cut to the inside behind the block, but in front of the other defender and was able to find his way to the end zone from 40 yards out. A later drill, transfer tight end Gabe Lavorne made a cut that someone his size should not be able to make, leaving the defender in the dust. As much as head coach Will Hall loves using his tight ends in the offensive scheme, you know that had to make him happy. During team drills at the end of practice, the offensive line still having some difficulty opening any holes for Tulane running backs. In drills from the 20-yard line, runs up the middle and sweeps could not keep the linebackers at bay. Only fakes to the inside and bootleg sweeps by the quarterbacks seem to be successful. Still too early, though, in our opinion, to make a decision on who the starting quarterback will be in the fall. Now, I'll tell you, Coach Will Hall does address that, and we'll talk to him later. We continue to see positives and negatives for both Caden Samanza and Zion Chris Gremion. Samanza can make quick decisions. Zion still tends to zone in on one receiver, but he finds a crack in the defensive front. He shows off elite running abilities. True freshman quarterback Trace Johnson, who we'll hear from later, continues to impress, making quick decisions, not throwing the ball into over-heavy coverage for the most part. He consistently checks down from receivers who aren't open. Redshirt quarterback, sophomore Dagan Bruno, showed how well he knows to run the option. Well, of course, he learned that at John Curtis. Bruno did go back to pass a number of times, but he shows excellent running ability, as he has all spring on design option plays. Today's interviews include head coach Will Hall, offensive line coach Cody Kennedy, starting left tackle Dom Stewart, starting right tackle Ryan Mickow, and true freshman quarterback Trace Johnson.
All right, practice 13, good fun, worked some situations today, second and short. And, you know, all that goes in that situation from an offense standpoint and a defense standpoint. And then we also did red zone lockout again at the end, man. Y'all saw it, man. It was so much fun. Such a cool way to end practice. We'll do that again on Saturday on our last day of practice. And just a lot of fun. You saw the back and forth, man. Defense had two big stops. Then the offense comes back and scores two consecutive times. And you end up, or three, I guess, was it three? No, two straight times, which created a winner-take-all scenario, which was really cool to see our players compete back and forth. Had some good and some bad on both sides, but such good learning for a lot of our young guys and some of our older guys to go through and put our leaders in a lot of different situations and how to lead when those things are going on. So really cool day with the way it all transpired and the way it worked out. Thank the good Lord for that. And shoot, man, 13 down. And two more to go. Can't waste an opportunity to get better in pads. You know, we don't get to put pads on again all the way to into August. So we've got to take advantage of these last 2 days. I feel like we're extremely deep, especially for our level. We have a lot of confidence in, I would say, 8 or 9 of them right now. And that's really close to being more than that with the youngsters growing and maturing and learning what to do, because there's not a talent deficiency. It's just learning what to do next. But yeah, man, those 5 that have been starting are doing really well, but those top 3 to 4 backups are also bringing a lot to the table. There's some good competition right there. And so we're blessed to have a lot of depth. And then we get Mitch Hodnett back this summer from injury, who also is a young guy that we think has got a bright future. And Tylen George is back from injury, who was an early enrollee. So we've done a great job, our personnel department recruiting that room. And the development overall of that room has been really good to see. Yeah, so I'm very fired up. I'm not surprised because of where he comes from and what he's all about. Like, man, that dude wakes up with one thing on his mind every day, and that's success with football. Like, he is he's like a coach's kid, being Doug's son. And, Doug played in the league 9 years, and it's like growing up as a coach's kid. And so I'm not surprised at all. And he's done some good things. He'll tell you He had a bonehead play today in the red zone where he took a sack. He can't do that. His eyes wasn't exactly right. But he's learning and growing every day, and he has proven how tough he is. He is a tough guy. And you got to be tough. Championship teams have tough quarterbacks. Like, that doesn't change. And, the other one is Dagan Bruno. Like, Dagan has really, really come on this spring and given us another weapon back there. As a guy that can really operate, is extremely accurate, and is a really good runner as well. And so those two have really made us a lot more comfortable with our depth, because Caden and Zion and Caden are both playing at a high level. I mean, they're playing well. I don't know, probably before we play Duke. Probably before we play Duke. And we don't have to start getting ready to play a game really until 14 days before Duke. We'll switch into game mode. So that'll be the target date. Up until then, we're just going to compete and get better every day. Now, we'll make a decision on the reps. We'll reduce the amount of guys that are getting reps in practice after spring. So when we go into the summer, like, we'll meet with these young men after spring ball and we'll say, hey, going through the summer, going through fall camp, these are the guys that are going to get reps. Because we got to win a game. That's what they pay me to do. So we got to get ready to win a game. But we'll push through these next two spring balls and let everybody get their spring ball practices, let everybody get their opportunity. That's what I tell them every day. Like, guys, everybody wants an opportunity. This is your opportunity. All right, this is practice. That's when you get an opportunity. So show it right now. I think we've grown the most at back-end communication in the secondary. We got a lot of depth and a lot of ability back there. Not a lot of guys that have played a ton of reps, specifically with Chinshu being out and TJ Smith being out. We do have some older guys back there. We got a lot of newcomers that are learning our system. I think if you were here for scrimmage 1, practice 6, you saw a lot of busted coverages. You didn't see that this past Saturday. You didn't see that today. So I think our growth and our communication in the back end, from motions and shifts and adjustments and how we're going to match those routes. And then I think our growth at receiver. I think today was probably our best day at wide receiver. From a body positioning, understanding where I'm supposed to be relative to the space around me and what open means in our offense, understanding how to leverage deep balls, keep ball me man mentality with keeping my body between the defender and the ball. So I think we've taken some strides at wide out. So those two probably the biggest areas of growth from the first scrimmage. I just want to see us. I love, man, if the good Lord came down, I'd say, please let us stay healthy and let us knock the crap out of each other. I want to keep being physical and keep pushing the envelope and keep getting better. But I'd like to have the good fortune of staying healthy. Yeah, it's just what we do. It's just what we've always done. It's a very it's a very old school Alabama, Georgia practice model. I was blessed when I was the head coach at West Alabama to be able to go to Alabama. It was 45 minutes away when Coach Saban was building that program. And so it's that practice model. We're blessed to have the depth where we can practice that way. And I think our kids love it, because it's full speed. It's highly competitive. And if you don't want to compete, you'll get beat out.
Yeah, I think we do. We meet in this room. We have a lot of fun in here. We're a great group of guys. I came here. I liked it. We went mini golfing a couple weeks ago. We went barbecuing. We went to a barbecue restaurant my first weekend here. We just been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Just the opportunity, because this place has been playing good football over the past couple of years, and they have a good coach and Coach Kennedy over there and a great head coach, and I came back closer to home, and I just like it. It's a lot closer to what I grew up in. Yeah, communication's a big part of this, because if all 5 of us, as long as we're all on the same page, it's a good play. It's bound to happen, because if 5 is 1, then we have a good play. If we know cross dogs come in when they have the shade, we can all we can make our call to zone it, and then we're all clearing up on the backers and everyone, and then we get a good run play. Have you ever lived up north? I don't know.
Very, very brief.
It's because
you're from Florida.
Yeah, I'm from South Florida, so this is a lot closer culturally wise to what I grew up with. The north, it's good. I liked it. I enjoyed my time there, but I like Tulane because it's a lot closer to what I grew up with. I would wake up, it's 80 degrees out. I've never worn sweatpants or hoodie white here, so I really enjoy that. I just get to wear shorts and t-shirts. I think just understanding the playbook and the knowledge of it. When we first came in, I'll be honest, some people didn't know what was going on, but now that people know what's going on, they're able to play fast with more effort, and they know what's coming on, and they're not shocked by what's coming on. So everyone just communicates and all the knowledge.
I've been here since the summer era, since he first got here. I was one of the early enrollees, so I've seen the room change quite a few times since I've been here. And so I think this line is different than the first 2 lines I've been a part of. We're younger, definitely And I think everybody that we recruited in my class is still here except -1. And I think that we've grown together, like as brothers, more than anything off the field. Like we call each other for anything and everything. And we just bring that same energy into the room with the guys who might not necessarily have came in with us, the younger guys and the transfers. So that's why you hear Mickow and the other two, they fall in love with the room instantly, because we bring that same energy, that love that we carry off the field, we bring it right in here, and everybody falls in love with it. Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this since I enrolled. I mean, that's what I came to do, came to play football. I wanted to be a starter when I first came in. Just some things weren't there, everything wasn't there, but just going through the process and knowing how to face adversity, I've learned how to face adversity so much better since I got here. So just getting ready to play this year, I'm super excited, fired up. I'm ready to show people what I've been about this whole time.
Yeah, I feel solid. I think it's important to get reps and combos and things like that when you're working together. Like these guys have referenced, working as one in pass protection, passing off to us game, in the run game, building combos. It's slightly different with different guys, so you get fits along that, but also to build kind of the depth we're talking about. Within team periods, we'll have like an emergency sub period. Well, we will simulate a guy maybe going down and then putting a guy up. So the injury necessarily didn't actually happen, but we're simulating that in practice to, okay, hey, Joel Baptiste, you got to go in. Hey, Tristan Fortenberry, you got to sub in. So now these guys are getting realistic type sub-in reps, which I think is important for those guys. But you got to build a foundation, right? And you got to have guys that are confident within their role as a starter. So there's some guys that are older in the room that have shown consistency previously in their career. So those guys have earned that chair in the room. There's some other guys where it's like, all right, we got a battle going on. So we may sub guys in and exchange those just to build that quality depth everybody's looking for. First and foremost, they're phenomenal humans, right? Just as a holistic view. They're kids that have chosen this university for a great education, a top-tier education. They're thinking about things within their life past just what they're going to eat for dinner. You with me? Which, I mean, that's mature for those guys. So I love that about them. The first guy, Ryan Mickow, who's coming here, and he's had an impact on the room from just a knowledge base. Really, really smart kid, and that's credit to his previous coaches as well, and our system, the ability to fall into our system and learn those schemes. So I'm really proud of him for that. He's really great in the meeting room and holding guys to a standard of that knowledge base, because you get knowledge, then you tie it with confidence, and then you start building complete players. So that's the chain you got to connect. Dom Stewart, golly, what a story. Man, a transformational process for him, a kid that, played high school ball at, let's call it 230, and has bought into the process, handling the small task that seem mundane and just building on that to get what he wants. And he's got that opportunity now. He's running with the ones. It's just a testament to what college football is. Like, you stay here, you hear the outside noise, you continue to persist in your craft. You work, you build on that, and you get good things happen to you. Good opportunities come your way. I mean, he's a testament that I tell stories about to all the kids. Like, it's great. It's the lessons you learn within college football that are fleeting now, to be honest with you. And that's what I love about that kid. Like, he had a lot of people, like, he could have left here.
Yeah, because he came in the spring 2 years ago, and he thought he was going to be playing.
Absolutely. Things didn't go his way. Yeah. But he didn't take his ball and go home. He stayed and he battled and he fought through the hard. He learned how to adjust to the hard, and I think that's awesome about that kid. But both those kids, man, they're grown men. They're not kids. They're grown men. They're awesome. It's really hard. Look at the state of offensive line play across college football. It's really hard. A position that thrived in cohesiveness and having a guy to develop. This is a developmental position. Okay, very few guys show up and play and start as freshmen for a reason. Okay, skill guys, you can run fast anywhere you're at. Fast travels. You with me? But having to move a man, and maybe it's a 21-year-old, 22-year-old guy, and you're out there 17 years old, that's a different game. So you have to develop into that. It's really hard to create that. One thing about here, we have an elite academic setup. Okay, where when kids choose to come here, they want to stay here and get that degree. So naturally, guys want to be here and get developed, get that degree. You with me? So this is a sweet spot in the nature of college football where these guys come here and they realize it's a nationally known, recognized degree. They want to get the degree, but also we're winning a lot of football games, right? So we got the total package going here where we can retain guys because if you look for places to go, somewhere's going to have some warts. They might not win as many games. You might not get as good of a degree. So a lot of those things help us build that cohesive unit here where we can get guys that stick and really start to get that old school college football mentality, whereas other places you don't get that at all, 0%.
Yeah, it was pretty spur of the moment. Nothing against Buchholz. It really didn't have anything to do with that. Santa Margarita was the only place I was going to transfer to. So Coach Palmer gave me a call, kind of grew up with him. He was like my uncle. So gave me a call, so they needed a quarterback. Came out there for a spring break trip that was already planned. Went out there, loved it, loved what they had, loved being able to learn from him. I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. So I didn't want to miss that opportunity. Yeah, I still got a long way to go. I mean, we're just got to get better every day. I'm not really focused on depth chart right now, who's playing, who's not playing, reps, just trying to come in every day and just get better. That's really the only thing I can do right now to try to climb up and, show improvement.
Coach a few minutes ago said you eat football when you wake up in the morning. You said you're like this is it. There, just your love of football and how it's brought you to New Orleans.
Yeah, I think obviously my dad has a great, he kind of just fed it to me while I was a kid. Like I just how I grew up, just loving football, playing football every day. And, it leads to a lot of other things in life. So if you're successful in this sport, it can help you out later down the road. Yeah, I think this offense, it has a lot of that, a lot of full field progressions.
Okay.
But yeah, Coach Hall, this offense is great. It's one of the best. It's the best I've seen, to be honest with you. It's super fun. It's super quarterback friendly. But yeah, there's a lot of full field progression reads, so that's what you're seeing.
This Saturday, the culmination of spring football when Tulane holds its annual spring game in Yulman. And that's at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. The format essentially is a glorified practice. Admission is free and open to the public. We will, of course, give you complete details at about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. We hope to see you then. I'm Doug Joubert.